Hey guys, YouTube War 100 here. Alright, now here I am to start reviewing the Men in Black trilogy. And now starting with the review for Men in Black. So, yeah, this is just a really good movie. I mean, I've seen this movie like so many times ever since I was a little kid. And yeah, ever since I was a little kid, I have just always really loved this movie. I mean, yeah, I watched it like so many times as a young kid. Like, I first saw this film when I was only like 4 or 5 years old. And yeah, I did love it, and I've watched it so many times ever since. Like, yeah, just really have loved this movie. It just is like really such a good movie, and really this movie it is like one of the films that really did like turn me on to the science fiction genre of film. Like this was around the time like films like this and the Star Wars films, of course, or is that E.T. and just yeah, like small film, like a few films like that are really were like films that really did like turn me on to like the science fiction genre film. Like those, yeah. So yeah, with like those three of film series in general really did like turn me on to science fiction. They were really like the first science fiction films I really did ever see, and I really did love them. And yeah, of course, like as I just said, this film is included in that. Just yeah, I have just really always loved this film. In fact, I even like have a small, well, I even like have something from the film right here. Like, I've even got like this cardboard poster for the film right here. Yeah, this was something that like my dad like brought home. I think guess like he this was at his work back then. And yeah, he just brought this home since like me and my brother really did love the movie, and he brought this home for us once. So yeah, I've had this for like a really long time. Yeah, just yeah, this is just like one of like my funnest things. Like love the film so much. Yeah, but my dad even like brought this home for me and my brother once since we did love it so much. So yeah, it's pretty cool that I've actually got like a cardboard thing of this. I really don't have anything like this for another film. So yeah, this is like a film that I really did hold in a high regard since like my dad did bring this home for me and my brother a long time ago. So yeah, but yeah. Anyway, yeah, of course, like yeah, this film it just is like such a great science fiction film. I mean, yeah, this film really was like really ahead of its time. Like, yeah, the film like came out in 1997, and it did like really have some really great effects. Like all the like alien creatures in this film, they do look really good, and they do like still really hold up today. Like there's like some CG used today that really just does look really awful, and yeah, it just really does not uh, really look believable. But here, that really does like the effects in this film all do look really good, and they still really do hold up today. You can really make the argument that effects like these effects really look a lot better than the effects used today. So yeah, just yeah, some really good effects for the time, and just yeah, just yeah, a film that's really ahead of its time. So yeah, I'm sure just about all of you know what Men in Black is about. Yeah, of course, like these films are like based on a small little comic book series that I guess like the company that actually did make these comics are now like technically owned by Marvel. So yeah, it is like a was a small comic book series. It was only like a 13 issue series. And I didn't really read the this comic book series at all, so I really don't know like how much this film really does follow the comics. But I've heard like it's very loosely adapted. So yeah, my guess is it probably really doesn't follow the series very much. But yeah, regardless, yeah, this still is like a really good film. I mean, I'm sure just about all you know what it's about. It's just about like a yeah, it's about a like a sort of like a secret agency that really just does monitor extraterrestrial activity on Earth and really just does really protect the Earth from any intergalactic threats. And so yeah, and it is like a very creative concept for the Men in Black. Like, yeah, and of course, like I said, I really did love this film. I really have loved this film, and also like this film also did eventually end up like spawning an animated series. Here, he's that like aired on Saturday morning, which I remember watching the Men in Black cartoon. cartoon. Like, I didn't really like watch it like religiously. I didn't really keep up with it, but I remember like watching it like occasionally because I really did love this film. So yeah, but yeah, it really just yeah. My thoughts on the cartoon doesn't compare at all to what I think of this film, and yeah, I just really do love the film. Yeah, of course, the film does have like a cast of Tommy Lee Jones and Will Smith, and it also has other stars like Linda Fiorentino. I'm sorry, I'm mispronouncing that. Also, Vincent D'Onofrio, Rip Torn, and even Tony Shalhoub like makes an appearance in the film. So yeah, a pretty good cast, and yeah, it does like have some like really good action scenes in the film, as well as like there are some there is like a good dosage of comedy in this film as well. So yeah, I think this film really does like mix in all of its elements together to really give it like a proper fitting for like all the different aspects that the film has. So yeah, I really do who think that this is a really, really good film. I really do love it. I've seen it so many times ever since I was a little kid, and I will probably still continue to watch it a lot of times in the future. So yeah, and so yeah, and the film is also like under the direction of Barry Sonnenfeld, and it also does have some really good music by Danny Elfman. So um, yeah, so yeah, overall, I really think that it really is a really, really good film, and I really do love it. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I mean, I'm sure it does like probably have some sort of flaws to it. I think maybe like there are some parts, elements of the film that really can like get kind of silly and over the top at times, but overall, like it is like a really really entertaining film to watch, and I really do think that it is like a really really good film. So yeah, so I would probably give this film probably like 3.5 stars out of four. I mean, yeah, definitely a fairly entertaining film. Probably not really yeah, I probably like wouldn't like say it is like an absolute masterpiece, but yeah, it still is like a very very enjoyable film, and it is like worth a watch. Yeah, like if you haven't seen it before, I would definitely recommend it. Like it is like a just yeah a film that is just totally worth the watch. So yeah, just watch the film if you haven't seen it before. All right, so yeah, so let me just get right into it. All right. So as the film opens up, like during the opening credits, it just like shows what it seems to be like inside of space, but then it just shows like a dragonfly just flying along, and like during the opening credits, we just like are it's just following the dragonfly, and then the dragonfly eventually ends up just like crashing into the windshield of a truck or a van, and yeah, and then it shows that there's this guy that's like trying to sneak in like several well, Mexicans across the border, but he like ends up being caught by the border patrol. But then, yeah, the two agents, yeah, two like secret agents, like end up showing up, which of course is K, played by Tommy Lee Jones, and his partner D, and yeah, they were then just speaking to all of the Mexicans. And well, yeah, Kay was speaking to all the Mexicans in Spanish, and then he came across one that was really like giving some. Well, he wasn't responding like giving like proper responses to what Kay was saying, and so then yeah, Kay and D then like saw that that guy was the one that they were looking for, and then yeah, Kay then sent like everybody else off, but they then brought that one guy down into the desert, and then yeah, Kay then cut off like the cloak that he was wearing, and then it revealed that this guy was actually just an alien criminal named Mikey. And then as Kay and D were talking to Mikey, then one of the patrol officers then just saw Mikey, and then yeah, Mikey then just all of a sudden just flipped and was then charging towards that patrol officer, but before he could actually attack, Kay ended up shooting Mikey and destroying him. But yeah, Mikey's goo ended up going everywhere and covering that officer. So, and as the other patrol officers then went along, Kay then just like used the neuralizer, which was used for like a wiping away, hey, memories of like any extraterrestrial activity to any residents. And yeah, Kate then like flashed the neuralizer and erased the memory of Mikey from the patrol officers. Yeah, and then Ethan was just talking to Kay, just pretty much just telling Kay that he was too old for his job, and he was just looking up to the stars, just talking about how they're beautiful and that he really never looks at them anymore, and he'll miss the chase. And then yeah, Kay then just ended up neuralizing D, and then it cut to New York City, where it showed that NYPD officer James Edwards was then pursuing really fast and agile suspect on foot, and then he was just like chasing the guy down the town. And then it eventually led towards the Guggenheim, and then at one point the suspect like pulled out a strange-looking gun on Officer Edwards, but he ended up knocking the gun out of the guy's hand, and it just ended up shattering and evaporating. Yeah, and then like I said, it eventually led to the Guggenheim, where the suspect was then just actually like climbing up the outside of the Guggenheim. And then Officer Edwards then just broke into the inside of the Guggenheim and then just ran all the way up to the rooftop. And as he caught the suspect was just like kept saying that, saying that he's coming. Yeah, he's just like he didn't actually say who it was, but he just like kept constantly saying he's coming, and then he just told Officer Edwards that the world's gonna end, and then it showed that he he then like had what seemed to be like a vertical set of eyelids that he blinked, and then he just like slowly backed up and then just tipped off of the ledge of the Guggenheim and falling to his death. Yeah, and then it just like showed, like in the far out distance on a farm in the sky, it then just showed like a UFO. Oh, then just like slowly like crashing down to the ground and destroying a truck, and then the farmer Edgar then just came out to investigate it, and then then just like heard a deep voice just telling Edgar to put his gun down, and Edgar just said that he could have his gun when he prized it from his cold dead fingers, and then it just showed like this enormous arm then just grabbing Edgar and pulling him down and killing him, then the alien then just used Edgar's body as a disguise, and then he like went inside Edgar's house and was just told Edgar's wife Beatrice to give him sugar water, and then just chugged it down, and eventually after like he ended up like pulling his like the back of his head back to try to make the skin better like fit his bones, then Beatrice then just ended up fainting, and then the the alien then eventually ended up just leaving it, but took his spaceship along with him. And then back at the police station, like none of the other officers were really like believing what Officer Edwards had said about like the vertical eyelids and the weapon evaporating. But then eventually, Kay arrived and just was telling Kay that those vertical eyelids were actually gills. Yeah, and then Kay asked Edwards if he would recognize the weapon if he saw it again, and then he took him down to a pawn shop that was run by pawnbroker named Jack Jeeves, played by Tony Shalhoub. But then, as Edwards was questioning Jeeves about it, Kay eventually ended up showing up because Jeeves wasn't being like honest about the situation, and then Kay then just ended up shooting Jeeves right in the head and causing his head to explode. But then it showed that Jeeves' head would like grow back whenever it was like hit or anything when it exploded. Yeah, and then he showed Kay and Edwards the guns, the secret guns that he's been selling, and then Kay was just asking like who the target was for the cephalopoid. But Jeeves didn't know who it was, and then Kay and Edwards eventually then just ended up leaving. But then um then and like Cade then just ended up neuralizing Edward, and then later on he then just gave Edwards a business card with the MIB headquarters address on it. And yeah. Yeah, and then eventually then Edgar then ended up killing an exterminator here and just stealing the exterminator's truck and just loaded his spaceship into the back of the truck. And then once Edwards then came to the headquarters, he and several other candidates that were in the military, and then underwent a series of tests to actually join the force. But then Edwards then just had some very unorthodox solutions for the tests. But yeah, and the MIB president or president or the chief of MIB was didn't really think that Edwards really was fit for the job, but yeah, Kay just was convinced that him and him running after a cephalopoid has got to be tough enough. And so then, and yeah, Zed then ended up just bringing every other candidate and neuralizing them, and then Kay then was just explaining to Edwards that after a government agency actually made first contact with aliens in 1961, alien refugees were actually living in secret on Earth and disguised as humans in the New York metropolitan area. And then the Men in Black is actually a secret agency that police the aliens and protect Earth from any intergalactic threats. And keep alien activity a secret. Yeah, and then he made an offer to Edwards to join the Men in Black, and then the next day, Edwards ended up accepting it, and then Kay was then showing Edwards around the headquarters and just showing him some of their other weapons and equipment, and at one point he then just took Edwards to the screen that shows all the aliens on Earth and where they are. And it was interesting, 3 of the aliens that were shown on the screen were Sylvester Stallone, Danny DeVito, and George Lucas. So I thought that was interesting that they were actually shown on that screen. Yeah. And also Edward was talking about how he felt like his 3rd grade teacher was a alien, and Kay confirmed that she was. Yeah. And then they then addressed Edwards in Men in Black attire, which of course is an all black suit, and just had a voiceover from Zed just explaining and what this means for him now that he answers to the Men in Black, and he just lives his life how they tell him to do it, and he won't have any identifying marks. And it showed his fingerprints were deleted and all his identification was deleted, his social security number and his birth certificate and his name, and now he was just labeled as Agent J. Yeah. Yeah. And then eventually it showed there was this one guy that was actually later revealed to be, and he actually a member of an alien royal family. And he eventually ended up discovering that there was now a bug that was now landed on Earth, which of course was the alien that ended up was in Edgar's body, and then and then eventually the bug ended up coming found a Rosenberg, what was the name of this Archelian or this alien prince, I guess, and he ended up killing Rosenberg as well as another alien, and then they were talking about how a device called the Galaxy, which was supposed to be in Rosenberg's possession, and that's what the bug is really like on Earth to try to find. And then he took an object that he thought was a galaxy, but was eventually like revealed that it just like contained diamonds. I mean, yeah, and then eventually K and J then like went to Edgar's wife Beatrice's house to interrogate her about what she saw of Edgar, and she was just telling them that she could tell that it wasn't Edgar that was asking for that sugar water and stuff. But then, and then as a K and J were then investigated the crash landing, then K then eventually concluded that it was a bug that landed on Earth and actually is now in an Edgar suit, and this bug is actually like a species of aggressive giant cockroach-like aliens with unlimited strength and a real short temper. For yeah, and so then yeah, K and J then were checking the morgues to try to find the aliens that were killed by the bug. And then the medical examiner at the morgue, Laurel Weaver, then was showing K and J the two dead alien bodies, and then eventually they then saw the actual alien inside of the Rosenberg body. And then as the alien was on its dying breath, the alien just said to prevent war, the galaxy is on Orion's belt. Well, yeah, and then yeah, K and J really didn't really understand what that really meant, and they were trying to figure out what Rosenberg was talking about by that. And instead, later on, just was telling K and J that Orion is just like a group of stars in the galaxy, and the belt is just three of the stars in the group, and that there aren't any galaxies on Orion's belt. Well, yeah, but then, and eventually, um, K and J then went to question another alien in town, which was disguised as a pug named Frank, and Frank was then just explaining that what the galaxy is just it's a massive energy source that is actually the size of a small jewel, and that it is on Earth, and Jay then eventually realized that what Rosenberg was meaning by galaxy on Orion's belt meant that it showed that Rosenberg actually had a cat that was named Orion, and on its collar actually was the small jewel, which was the galaxy. Let's see, yeah. And then as K and J then arrived to try to take the cat, the pug was also there and ended up holding a Laurel hostage and then taking her away and just forcing her to drive him in a cab to Queens after because yeah, his ship ended up being captured by the Men in Black and locked up in the office, so he was trying to find another way off of the planet, and then so he just had her take him to another somewhere where he could get off the planet, and then it showed then there was an Archelian battleship that had approached Earth and was actually firing a warning shot towards Earth, and then the Archelians then were just giving an ultimatum to Men in Black to deliver the galaxy to them, or they would destroy Earth within an hour. And then eventually, K and J then discovered that the bug is actually planning to use the observation towers of the New York World's Fair, their New York State Pavilion at Flushing Meadows to get off of Earth, because it was revealed earlier on in the film that those are actually disguised as actual flying saucers, and then yeah, then the bug then and attempted to board a flying saucer and fly off of Earth, and then it showed then that the flying saucer was actually flying over Shea Stadium during a Mets game, and it showed one player was kind of mesmerized by the flying saucer, and the baseball hit him in the head, which was kind of funny, yeah. But K and J were able to shoot down the ship, and it crashed back down into the Unisphere, and then as K and J then had the bug cornered, or the bug then just like opened up the Edgar suit, and then revealed like his actual bug body, and then it ended up swallowing K&J's gun, and like K then like went inside of the bug to get his gun back. He like made the bug swallow him, and then as Jay was trying to fight off the bug to keep him on Earth, he eventually then like ended up crushing several cockroaches, which like actually did get on the bug's soft side. And then yeah, as the bug was then about to actually eat Jay as well, then K then and like shot the bug from the inside with his gun. And then yeah, K and J then were able to recover the galaxy, and then Laurel then also then helped them after like the bug's upper half was still like about to actually attack them again. She ended up shooting the remaining part of the bug down, and then destroying it for good. Yeah, and then as K and J then like were arriving back at headquarters, there's then K then just like revealed that he's actually like been training Jay as not a partner but as a replacement. And then he then gave a Jay his neuralizer. Yeah. And then yeah, then Jay after a K bid of farewell to Jay, then Jay then used the neuralizer to neuralize K, and then Mitchell then came K then like returning to civilian life, and there was even like an ad in the National Enquirer, a headline in the National Enquirer that he had awoken from a 35-year coma and returned to his wife that he left behind. Yeah, and then it also like showed that Laurel had become Jay's new partner, and yeah, they were talking about how somebody like wanted some floor tickets for a upcoming Knicks game with against the Bulls, and they, like made a Dennis Rodman joke like pretty much saying how Dennis Rodman was an alien. Yeah, and then the movie then just like ended by zooming from overhead from head out of Earth, and then just like totally out of the galaxy, and then yeah, just like showed like some sort of alien, then like playing marbles with marble shaped galaxies and just throwing them back into a sack. So yeah, and that's how it ended. So yeah, like I said, 3.5 stars out of 4. It just really is a really, really good movie, and I really do love it a lot. Like I said, I've seen it so many times ever since I was a little kid, and I will still probably see it many more times in the future. So yeah, definitely just a really, really good movie. So like I said, if you haven't seen it before, check it out. It is just such a good movie. All right, so I guess that's all I can really say about it. So yeah, I guess this is it for my review of Men in Black. So I hope you guys did enjoy this review, and stay tuned for my reviews of the 2 sequels. So yeah, but I hope you guys did enjoy this review. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys later.